everyone, and welcome back to the World Aquatic Junior Diving Championships in Rijeka 2026. We are on day 3.
And welcome back to the
I'm not sure if you all can hear me okay, it's a bit scatty.
Our next event will be the boys Group B platform preliminaries.
It keeps going
But
in and out.
before we begin, should we welcome our referees?
Yes, you won't be able to hear anything. No.
Our referee,
Hopefully you all can hear me okay.
and our assistant, Mohammed Hassan.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Your panel A judges, whose names are on the scoreboard for you now. And the start list is now scoring
Hello.
on the scoreboard.
Testing. Testing 1, 2, 3.
It sounds like it's on, but it's not. I'm on. Okay.
And we are ready to begin.
Welcome back to the World Aquatic Junior Diving Championships in Rijeka 2026. We're about to start the Boys B platform preliminary. Sorry for the delay there, we were just having some technical difficulties with sound.
On 7.5 meter.
We're about to start the competition. In the junior competitions, we see divers choosing to perform their dives from the 10 meter or the 7.5 meter or the 5 meter. We have Ahmed from Egypt. Ali Ahmed, sorry, performing about 1.5 somersaults half twist. Landing a bit short of vertical there. In the preliminary rounds, we will see
5.5, 5, 4.5, 5.5,
4 required rounds
on 10 meter. Yusuf Islam.
and 4 optional rounds. Required meaning easier dives, and it's the degree of difficulty is capped at 9.0. We have Yusuf forward 1.5 somersault pike on 10 meter. Beautiful entry. I hope we're going to see some really nice dives from the boys in this competition. It's an absolutely beautiful day here in Croatia. It makes for some great viewing and some good diving. We've got Lee Ho Xian performing a front 1.5 somersaults pike. Not quite getting enough rotation on that front 1.5 somersaults. Flavio Capelli from Italy. Front 1.5 somersaults pike from the 10 meter board. Nice entry there from Flavio. Maybe slightly leaning forward on that takeoff. Nothing drastic.
7, 8, 6.5, 7,
Heard an 8 there.
6.5 at 6
There are 7 judges.
on 7.5 meter.
They'll judge out of the score of 10.
Inward dive pike.
They'll deduct the lowest 2 scores and the highest 2 scores to get a median average, and then they'll add that together and times it by the degree of difficulty, and that's how we get the score of each dive, the total score. And again, I'll mention it, divers can choose to compete off the 5 meter, 7.5 meter and the 10 meter in the junior competitions. The divers have to fill in a dive sheet 24 hours before the start of their competition, and you will hope that you put in the right height of your dive, because imagine if you're doing like a forward 3.5 somersaults pike and you were meant to put 10 meter and you put 5 meter. I wonder if a diver would actually give that a go or just call it a failed dive. I don't think I've seen that happen before. Yeah. There's a long, the coaches will probably check their divers' dive sheets beforehand. Nice, strong, confident takeoff there. Just missing out on that entry.
7.5, 6.5, 7, 6, 7.5, 7, 7.5, 6.5. On 10 meter. Low pen 2. Forward 1.5 somersaults pike.
We have Peng Zhu, United States of America. Great start to his competition. We will see 4 requireds from the boys, and then another 4 optionals.
6.5, 8, 7, 7, 6.5.
8 rounds in total.
On 7.5 meter, forward 1.5 somersaults pike.
You can see some divers choose to put a towel down on the end of the board. That is for comfort and I guess grip, but it's a diver's preference whether they use it or not.
8, 8, 7, 7.5, 7, 7, 7.5. On 10 meter, Hugo divide, forward 1.5 somersaults pike.
We got Hugo from Australia. I met this young man on my first day here. I didn't know where I was going to get my dinner, and I came across Hugo and he showed me the way. He's a good lad. Got a very good entry on him as well. See some strapping there on his elbow. Hopefully that's just for precaution, not an injury.
7.5, 7.5, 7, 8, 6.5, 7.5, 7. Ivan Alexandrov on 10 meter, forward 1.5 somersaults pike.
Have Ivan from the Netherlands. Forward 1.5 somersaults pike. Oh, that was a beautiful entry there from Ivan. Oh, wow. Not a single splash being produced. Let's see what the judges think.
7.5, 9, 8, 7.5, 7.
We hear a 9 from Judge 2.
On 7.5 meter, Alessandro Cappiero, forward 1.5 somersaults pike.
When Ivan went through the water, I can guarantee you he knew exactly well, he knew exactly that he nailed the heck out of that dive. The feeling going through the water on 10 meter is, I mean, it can feel pretty bad if you land badly, but when you do a rip entry, it's like a vacuum sucks you into the water. And it's actually quite hard for me to explain that feeling, because it's one of those things you just got to experience yourself. And that's something unique divers get to experience. We have Ian from Mexico. Kind of big cheer from the crowd. Solid dive there from Ian. The required rounds are very important, because if you make it through to the final, your overall score after the 4 rounds of required will be carried over. We have our first handstand of the event, Alistair from Canada. Alistair there. It's not an easy dive to start off your competition. I was always very nervous with my own handstand dives, especially in my junior career. I'd try and get it done. I would never do it in the first round, but I'd try to do it in the second round. In this event, they only have to cover 5 groups. And by groups, I mean directions of dives. So you obviously got the forward, inward, back, reverse, arm stand, and twist. So not everyone has to do a handstand. If they do a twisting dive, then they can skip out on the handstand, or vice versa with a reverse, or any sort of direction.
Up next we have Han Lin.
We've managed to sort out some of our technical difficulties, and I am joined again by Yona Knight Wisdom, Jamaican Olympic diver, one of my teammates and good friends, and now coach for the British team.
See Han there chose to do his dive in the open position. He didn't wrap his arms around the back of his legs for the pike shape, which is a personal preference.
Mm-hmm. Got Ahmet from Turkey. Front one after somersault spike. Beautiful jump out of the board. Flowing through the air. A great entry.
7.5, 7.5, 7.5, 8, 7.5, 8, 7.5. On 10 meter. Kirill development. Inward 1.5 somersaults.
What were your requireds on platform? If you remember.
Yeah, it's quite
so long ago.
I know, it feels like so long ago. I like to think I did a front 1.5 pike. Maybe an inward dive. Actually, I did my requireds on 7 meter. All of them.
Interesting.
But then, like, for example, when I was in Group A,
7, 7.5, 6,
well, I actually never competed a junior.
on 10 meter.
I don't think I ever did a junior A competition.
Oh.
I was, not luckily, but I was on
Senior then,
yeah, I was on the senior team
Interesting.
by that point. But obviously, this is the Group B boys, and I competed my first Junior Europeans in 2012 in Graz, and I competed in this event. My optionals at the time were not very hard dives. I had a front 3.5 somersaults tuck. I had a full in, and then I think I had like maybe a back 2.5 tuck off 7.5 meters. Nice dive there from Inaki from Mexico.
On 10 meter, forward 1.5 somersaults, height.
Simafei there with a great front and a half. You can see he's quite a tall diver, very long legs, beautiful lines.
7, 8, 7, 7, 7, 7,
Clean entry.
On 10 meter.
Yeah, if a tall diver has a good end, well, usually they do have a very good entry, and the line just looks so satisfying to watch as they go through the water.
Yeah, because it happens for so long.
Yeah. Miroslav landing a little bit short there on his inward 1.5 somersaults pike. Didn't get quite enough rotation out of the end of the board. He started diving when he was 5 years old. His grandmother saw an ad and signed him up for diving. Next up we've got Nathan from America, performing a front 1.5 pike. Solid dive there. Probably going to see quite a lot of decent dives in this competition. And as I explained earlier, the higher up you are, it's almost easier to make a rip entry because there's more speed and power going into that water. It's probably a lot harder to do it on 1 meter, but of course still doable. We have Nazari from Ukraine. Stunning dive there. Beautiful form. Look at that view, that backdrop. It's pretty impressive.
And you mentioned the form. The form in these requireds is so important, so crucial. It's those fine details that really count, especially on the platform, because these divers spend so much time in the air, so much time for the judges to really see what they're all about, and you really want to see that good toe point, full knee extension, all the way through to the fingers as well.
It's a good point you make there. I've never really thought about it like that, but of course, yeah, the dive is in the air for a longer time than most of the other boards, so the judges have more of a time to judge you. So you know, if you're showing, you know, that they'll see everything. So obviously you want to try and keep it all as neat as possible.
Any discrepancy becomes
quite obvious.
Much more obvious.
We have Elliot from Sweden. Another great entry there from Elliot.
Now that is clean.
The sound of a rip entry is almost like a gunshot. It's a very satisfying part of diving. We have Linus Schwartz. Gonna see another arm stand dive here. Arm stand forward, 1 somersault in the pike.
Obviously he's here straddling up to the handstands, quite a quick straddle up. Got a good balance and hold, good line. Great form, beautiful rip. What was your, once the horn finishes, what was your method of getting up into the handstand?
Throughout my career I went through quite a few different methods. Towards the end of my career I would pike up into my handstand, and I was just able to control it a lot more. I never straddled up. I was never that flexible. I tucked up for the majority of my probably junior career, and then a little bit before that I probably just kicked up because I wasn't strong enough to be able to slowly press my legs up into the air.
And did you feel like you gained any extra favour from the judges with a pike up rather than a tuck up or a straddle up? Did you feel like there was any difference?
I think the pike up and the straddle up are on par because your legs are straight, so it shows neatness and control. And obviously a tuck up can be quite quick, but they're mainly looking for control in a handstand. And when you're nervous in a competition, I feel like my nerves always was in my hands, so a handstand really wasn't my strongest attribute. I remember feeling so relieved, literally so relieved after every time I competed my handstand dive and I got out of the way. Here we have a straddle up.
We would always compare the stress of a handstand to the stress of a hurdle, and you've only got to do one handstand, but we would have to do at least 3 hurdles in our list.
Yeah, and that's why I say I feel like springboard is a harder event to compete because of that exact fact. You're dealing with something really difficult even before the whole dive itself.
Inward 1.5 somersault spiked, 10 meter.
Moving a little bit away from the board there, getting a bit stuck in his pike shape. Not quite getting it round to vertical.
4.5, 4.5. Flavio Capelli. Inward 1.5 somersault spiked, 10 meter.
Flavio from Italy.
Sorry, Dave, I saw a little bit of a twist on the bottom there. Could see both feet as he went through the water, which the judges, well, some have clearly picked up on and some haven't. You see Judge 1 and Judge 7 going slightly lower, Judge 7 going for a 4, but Judge 6 obviously didn't notice and went for the 7, which again is why it's important to get the average judge score before getting the full total.
It's great to see so many countries representing at this World Aquatic Junior Diving Championships. Hayden from Australia.
Beautiful dive, great control. Really confident jump. Lovely form. Perfect vertical line.
8, 7.5, 7, 7, 7.5, 8, 7. Cans along. Back down pipe, 10 metre.
Still struggle a bit there with the fact that that was given 7s. I mean,
Yeah, what more are we asking for? Yes, it wasn't perfect, but it's pretty good. There's Kanzilong going over a vertical on his back dive pike. Not usually seen from the Chinese divers.
5, 5, 7, 6, 6.5.
and here we see a direct comparison. Judge 5 scored that a 7,
Inward 1.5, somersaults, height 10 metre.
and some of the judges of the previous dive also scored 7s. And those two dives are clearly of a
Yeah, very different.
different standard. But again, everyone's subject to their own opinion of how they see the dive and what they think it should be scored. Nature of a subjective sport.
Yep.
6.5, 6.5, 6.5, 7, 7.5. Nicola Londono. Inward 1.5, somersaults, height 7.5 metre.
Right, Nicholas up on the 7.5 metre.
And would you say there was a difference between doing dives on 7 metre versus 10 metre, for example? Why did you choose to do yours on 7 metre?
I was genuinely just thinking the same sort of thing. I was also thinking, I wonder if the judges automatically score higher the 10 metre dives. I'm sure they might, because I guess it shows, it's a harder dive, you're higher up. But the reason I chose to do all my requireds on the 7.5 metre in Group B was to save my triceps and my body on the impact. The divers' bodies go through so much strain going through the water on the 10 metre diving board. And we hit the water at about 25 miles per hour.
I mean, I've only really been watching junior diving this year a little bit, and I've actually definitely noticed a difference between
6, 5.5, 5.5, 6,
dives
5.5,
scores
6.
compared between 7 metre and 10 metre.
Inward 1.5, somersaults, height 10 metre.
We have Ivan with 10 metre. Started diving when he was 4.5 years old. Oh.
Wow. No entry.
Excellent entry.
You could just see in the video there, in the replay, a little bit of toes, you just want that little bit of extra toe point just for that extra bit of class and quality.
7.5. Alessandro Caffiero. Inward 1.5, somersaults, height 7.5 metre.
The judges are meant to score the overall dive, the overall impression of the dive. But the rip entry is the last thing they will see.
What did you do to work on your rip entry? What were some of the key things, and also to protect your body, as you mentioned, shoulders, triceps, wrists?
The most common injury I feel like for a 10 metre diver is your triceps, and we'd have to, a lot of strength and conditioning for our upper body. But there's a fine line. We don't want to be too bulky, because you want that straight line. You don't want to have big muscles bulking out. It's not impossible to not rip. I've seen very strong, muscly divers be able to rip. And it's also just training correctly and training safely. Not doing too many dives on 10 meter. And we would do lineups on every board to work on our entry. But I also feel like with the entry, it's just something you have. You can obviously work on it. But I think my rip entry was probably the same in Group B as it. No, that's a lie, because my body changed. I grew up. I was going to say it's probably the same entry as it was Group B to 2021, but that's a lie.
It's a good dive.
Yeah,
slightly
very neat.
over. Beautiful, beautiful technique.
Yeah, textbook technique.
Yeah, absolutely. So high as well.
7.5, 7.5, 7.5.
And that's why we're hearing some. On the visual there, we saw the wrong scores. But I was about to say that's why Alistair got 7.5 there, because yes, he went a little bit over, but the aerial work was textbook. We have Gorka from Spain, inward 1.5 somersaults pike on 7.5 meters. A little bit banana shaped on that entry.
5, 6, 5, 5.5, 5.5. Yihan Lin, inward 1.5 somersaults pike to 10 meter.
Once again choosing that open pike shape, but you can see there's quite a large gap between his chest and his legs, which the judges won't like to see.
6, 6, 6, and 5.5, 7. Ahmed Ufu Errol, inward 1.5 somersaults pike 10 meter.
Now, as we're getting towards halfway through these requireds, what kind of score are we looking at? What kind of score did you target? Do you remember in your requireds?
Is it unrealistic to say 200? I feel like it was around 200 mark. 4 dives. Yeah, wait. Yeah, if you're doing 4 dives. No, it's 200 plus. I can't remember, Yoda.
6, 6.5.
Too long ago.
Yeah, no, it was. And I haven't had to worry about requireds really for a long time, apart from in the synchro event.
Yes.
1.5 somersaults pike 10 meter.
We've currently got Hayden in the lead on 82 points from 2 dives, 40 points in his first dive, 41 points in his second dive. So if he continues that average, looking at around 165.
Beautiful entry from Kirill. Nice tight pike shape.
7.5, 8.5, 8.5, 8, 7, 8, 7.5.
Yeah, no, wait. 200 was.
Iñaki Hernandez Santos.
200 is definitely.
Some people go 200 though.
Do they?
I think that's be quite good though. 50 points are required.
Yeah, I don't think that's that good.
That made quite a loud sound with the hands.
That was extremely loud rip.
6, 6,
Just
5,
slightly
6,
short.
5.5, 6, 5.5. Inward 1.5 somersaults.
And interestingly, on 10 meters, some entries produce like a big bubble.
Yeah.
And I can't really explain why that happens. And you kind of go through the water and it feels like it's a normal rip, but then you feel a load of turbulence in the water. And obviously, that's all the air just pushing right back up.
We call it the mushroom.
Yes, there you go. I forgot. Mushroom. But ideally, you want to keep even the bubbles down.
7, 7, 7, 6.5. Miroslav Kiselov. Forward 1.5 somersaults. Pike 10 meter.
It's a hot, beautiful day here. Look at that backdrop. It's probably one of the nicest backdrops at a diving pool I've ever seen. Miroslav producing a brilliant dive there.
Nathan Petrovsky. Arms down forward, single somersault, pike 10 meter.
Nathan straddling up into his handstand. Got to show control. And you've got to at least hold that handstand for a good 3 seconds. If you don't hold your handstand, the judges will mark you down.
6.5, 7, 6, 6.5, 6.5, 6, 5. Nazary Kononenko. Inward 1.5 somersaults, pike 10 meter.
That's Nazary with his inward 1.5 somersaults pike. Again, see a little bit of white tape on his knee. Yeah. Jumping off a concrete block does put a lot of stress and strain through that knee joint. Especially at this kind of age when you're growing, your body's changing a lot.
7, 6.5.
I suffered quite badly with my patella tendonitis in both knees from probably this age that the boys are here, all the way into my senior career. Somehow I managed to get rid of it right before the Olympics, which helped, genuinely, yeah. I actually think the small break in COVID helped. I think they just needed a little break.
Yeah. And that's the thing, certain things only takes time for the body to be able to recover. But often we don't have that time to play with in the sport because it's just, event after event or preparing for a season.
Yeah, year after year.
And when you do take that break, it feels like you're losing out, it feels like you're behind, but actually it's so important for the body to just have that time to recover.
Elliot from Sweden down on the 7.5 meter board, sorry. Strong takeoff.
6.5, 6.5, 6, 6.5, 6.
Good form.
6.5, 7.
Could do with being a little bit cleaner on the entry. I always find these events very exciting to watch. When we move into the optional rounds, it can only get more exciting.
I thought his toes were a little bit close to the board there. It's always a nervy one, the back dive pike. If you get that wrong, you tap your toes and there's no coming back from that.
I was always so nervous of touching my toes on a back dive pike. When me and Tom Daly started doing synchro, we competed back dive pike, but I hated it. So I'm glad we changed it, and I'm pretty certain we did reverse dive pike at the Olympics. And a back half. Hopefully I'm not wrong. I should know my own history. That's the end of round 2. The top 12 will make it through to the final. Still very early days. We've got 2 more rounds of requireds and then 4 more rounds of optionals.
It's all very close around that top 12 mark, which is to be expected in these first required rounds with limited difficulty.
Just to give a bit of perspective, 2 years ago in the 2024 World Aquatic Junior Diving Championships in Rio, in this exact event, the Group B boys platform, the 12th place in the prelim scored a 332. So we're going to use that as a benchmark. This is a completely different competition, different set of judges. So that's why I say it's a benchmark and not a definite. Egypt have always produced some very good divers throughout the years. It's good to see a strong duo here in this event.
A great entry. Very short of vertical and a little bit loose through the water. You can see a little bit too much of an arch potentially through his lower back. That's why the judges are just on 7s to carry. For any more, you just want that real nice straight flat line like a pencil.
Quite getting enough rotation there on his takeoff, dropping his legs. And as soon as you do that, you kind of feel your body drop, and there's nothing you can do. Flavio Capelli on the 10 meter. Another great entry. Maybe a little bit loose going through the water.
Fractional forward too far away from the board as well. Again, a bit of a mix of opinions from the judges, with Judge 7 scoring that a 5. I'd say probably because of the distance more than anything. Like we said on the 1 meter, we want the dive to be close, but not too close, not too far away. Definitely don't want it to be dangerous, but if it's too far, then A, you're going to be struggling to make the dive, and B, the judges will deduct for that.
I like his strong jump out of the board. Just not quite keeping that splash down on the entry. You can always take positives from these sort of dives. I always like to concentrate on the positives, not the negatives. It's just the kind of guy I am.
Hayden, our leader from round 2, with his front 1.5 somersaults pike, his lowest difficulty required. Very well executed. Maybe not quite as clean as we've seen so far, but the form is beautiful, the line is good.
8-7-8-8-7.
And the judges clearly enjoyed it. Allows him to continue on his average of 40 points per dive, puts him on 120 after 3. It's a good start for the competition for Hayden.
That's more like it there from the Chinese diver. I would like to see his arms reaching a little bit further past his ears on the takeoff.
8.5, 8.5, 8.5, 8, 8.5, 8.5, 7.5.
I mean, other than that, the aerial work
Reverse dive right to turn in.
aerial work was textbook.
A reasonable dive there from Peng Shu. A little bit of knee
6.5, 6.5, 7.
looseness moving into the pike shape. A bit stuck, which we need to clean up for any more points. But can't argue too much with the vertical dive, 38 points on his reverse dive pike. Takes him to 112 after 3. Just behind Hayden and Khan. Moving on to Nicola on 7 metre with his back dive pike. See, he's got his towel on the board. It's a different surface to what we'd be used to seeing. And you can see that the surface changes as well. Slightly different right on the end of the board.
Great dive there from Nicholas. Just ever so slightly short,
7.5, 8, 7.5, 8,
but
7.5, 8.
great technique, good form.
Hugo Devine.
That's why he got some 8s.
7.5 metre.
Got Hugo, reverse dive pike. I wonder if Hugo filled in my form after he met me, because apparently I'm his inspiration. And he put a winky face, so I'm presuming he did. Actually, no, I have the date here. Oh yeah, no, that was last month. Oh, that's nice. Good entry there from Hugo.
6.5, 6.5, 6.5, 6.5, 6, 6, 6.5.
I do enjoy it when a diver does interact with the camera,
Yeah, that's nice.
but it's also up to his personal preference if they do or not. It doesn't mean they're not nice or not fun or the way around. You normally see more of the personality after the last dive.
It's a little bit stuck in the dive there from Ivan. And it felt like he needed to pull
5.5, 5, 6.
through the water to
5.5, 6,
get it to vertical, but actually he didn't need to do that. He was more or less there. He needed to hold his straight line.
Reverse dive pike, 7.5 metre.
Actually 5.5 to carry. Sitting on 113 after 3. It's not a bad start to his required at all. Pretty content with that.
As you can see, he's dragging the water through
6.5, 7, 7, 7,
with himself
7.5.
as he goes through the water. I'm sure it's available, but I would love to see a super slow-mo entry in like 4K.
Yeah.
Like a, I mean, of course it's probably been done, but I haven't seen it.
Be very satisfying.
Because the science, there is science behind.
Definitely.
I think the entry.
No, there 100% is.
Yeah. Like I said, you're creating a vacuum a hole in the water, and then in you go. And
there's a really strong jump there from Jan.
I didn't enjoy the double bounce.
No, it was
Makes
quite
me
a
a bit
big double
nervous.
bounce.
4.5, 4.5, 4.5, 4, 5.5.
Looks like he's feeling that impact a little bit, like he was holding onto his back a touch, and you could see the entry shape that he went through the water, very loose in the lower back. And when you hit the water with the speed of impact, you're hitting the water about 33 miles per hour, I believe, from 10 meter. And if you're not in the right shape, it'll just fold your body, which isn't very enjoyable. Perfect here from Alistair, sorry. Honestly, I would give that a 10. I'm not going to lie. I think that's. I don't see anything wrong with that. Yeah, we got 110 from the judge. Yeah,
Amazing.
we've got 110. I can't believe Judge 2 and Judge 7 has given that an 8.
Yeah.
The 10 is so accurate because that was perfect. There was absolutely nothing wrong with that dive. What a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful reverse dive pike. 51.3. Amazing.
I think Judge 7 may have closed his eyes. Or their eyes, sorry. The exciting thing with the tower event, as scores start happening and good dives happening, everyone kind of feels that vibe. The crowd gets louder.
Absolutely.
The aerial work wasn't as neat for Gorka, but a beautiful entry.
6.5, 7, 7.5, 6.5, 7.
The energy definitely builds. The vibe definitely builds when the judges go with the divers. Helps them to raise their own quality as well, because they can hear what's going on. They hear the scores. They know that there are good dives happening. So consequently, they need to step up and do some good dives themselves. And here we go, another great example from Han. Once again, a little bit open in the pipe shape. I think he needs to work on his flexibility of his hamstrings a little bit. He seems to be struggling to make his pipe shapes, and you know, the judges giving him some scores, but with that entry, could have been even more if his pipe shape was good. But Judge 2 scored that, and also Alistair's reverse dive, an 8. So, tell me how that makes sense.
I guess this is why we take the 2 lowest, 2 highest to try and get the most average perspective from the judges.
Hugo's getting some love in the comments.
Yeah, I see that. He might be a superstar for all we know.
Seems like it.
Yeah. If it's not, I'm sure he will be. We have Kirill slightly over-rotating on that entry.
7, 6, 6, 7, 7. Iñaki Hernandez Santos.
I've noticed some divers standing in the middle, standing on the sides of the board. What was your preference? Where did you stand?
So if I was ever competing in synchro in that pool, I guess I would always stand on the side I do on synchro. And on springboard, it's a little bit different because obviously you want to, as you said this morning, all the springboards are completely different.
Absolutely.
But on tower, you know, the platform's the same all the way around. I've been to some pools where it's crumbling off one edge, so you don't want to go there.
It's not very encouraging, is it?
No, but with synchro on tower, you would always just have the same side. And I think that is actually quite important. That was a beautiful dive there.
That was lovely.
Lovely line. Yeah, as I was saying, when you're spinning around, I'll be used to, if I was spinning around doing a reverse 3.5 somersaults tuck in synchro, I would expect to see my synchro partner on my right side, because that's the side we always do.
Yeah.
And if we swap sides, it would freak me out, I think, because I wouldn't be used to seeing anyone on my left side of my eye vision.
And you can actually see your partner whilst you're in the air.
Yeah. And the weirdest thing is if you're in great synchronization, it almost feels like you two are moving. You two are still, and
Yes.
everything else is moving
Everything
around
else
you.
moving. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the perspective doesn't change.
No. Yeah. So yeah, in the individual events, I would never stand in the middle.
7.5, 7, 6
I'd always pick a side depending on my synchro partner at that time. I've had many over the years, as divers usually do.
Somersaults height, 10 meter.
We have Nathan from America.
Yeah. Got the rip sound, but because he was slightly out of line, you can see a slight arch in his lower back.
And his ankles, or maybe his toe flexibility, needs a bit of work. It's quite obvious. The judges will see that and penalise. Solid handstand there from Nazari.
Chase Shaw, reverse dive pipe 10 meter.
Chase Shaw from Canada. Reverse dive pike.
Just
Lining up a little bit too
a little
early.
bit of, almost like lacking a bit of shoulder range to get that full extension back behind his ears for the entry. Just missing the line.
4.5, 5, 4.5.
And when you're out of line on 10 meter, you really feel the impact of the water, and it just takes over and flops you into a weird position in the water.
You feel it on the back of your head.
Ooh, yeah. Hurts the head and it hurts the pride a little bit. We have Elliot from Sweden. Started diving when he was 9 years old. He did parkour. He really liked doing flips. Well, I think he chose the right sport. Powerful takeoff. Good form.
6.5, 6, 6.5, 6. Lena Schwartz, reverse dive pipe 10 meter.
We have Linus from Germany up on the 10 meter diving board. Reverse dive pike. Just landing a little bit short there.
6.5, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6.5. That brings us to the end of the third round. So a quick look at
End of the third round of dives. Alistair scored some high points in that round. 12th position currently held by the Swedish diver, Elliot.
Fourth round. Ali Abdulhamid.
There's only
7.5 meter.
so far from 12th down to 20th. That is only 10 points, or 9 points. As I said, you want to come top 12 to be able to get into the final. We are still in the required rounds. There'll be 4 rounds of requireds.
6, 6, 7, 7, 6, 5.5.
And the requireds will roll over
Yusuf
to
Islam.
the final. We have Youssef.
Reverse dive pipe, 10 meter.
We have Hope on the 10 meter board, reverse dive pike. Going a little bit over there on that entry. He'd want to press his feet out a little bit further away.
4.5, 4.5, 5, 4.5, 4.5, 5.5, 5.
Which would have given him a chance to land vertically. Upright. We have Flavio Capelli. Over back, 1.5 somersaults, half twist on the 10 meter board. Just losing a little bit of tension there on the entry. See, there was a slight splash produced by his feet going over.
6, 6, 6, 6.5. 2 UGA. Back down pipe, 7.5 meter.
So as we come into this 4th round towards the end of the required section of the competition, super excited to introduce a little guest that we have with us. Yesterday's bronze medalist in the boys A 3 meter springboard final from Fiji, Maori Pomeroy Farrell.
Yeah, and it's going to be swapping headsets with Maori. And now we are joined with Maori. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing great.
Yeah. Obviously, well done. Congratulations for yesterday's
Thank you. It's
performance. I obviously saw in my notes that you said your biggest inspiration was to be able to represent your country as the first diver ever.
Yeah.
And not only did you do that, you also got a bronze medal.
Yeah.
Which you tell us how you feel.
It's completely an honor. It feels like a dream come true. Ever since I started diving, I remember asking my dad if there was any diving in Fiji, and he said, "No, son. The only diving in Fiji is from the coconut trees into the ocean."
Yeah.
And it's crazy. It's a crazy experience, especially when I first came here. On Monday I sprained my ankle, and I think the last thing that I would have thought of is making it on podium.
Yeah.
But just kept fighting through, and the recovery was pretty good. Still painful, but definitely. I think I did a good job despite having to compete with a sprained ankle.
Yeah, I feel like in diving it's very common to have little injuries here and there.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you were having a bit of a problem there with your ankle. During your final, you just looked so confident, and you really relished.
Thank you.
In that final. Tell us a little bit about your backstory. Like, how long have you been diving? Where were you born? Your parents' nationalities, and just the story of you becoming a Fijian diver.
Well, I started diving in Canada, Vancouver, Canada. That's where I was born and raised.
Yep.
And my coach took me to a Pan American in Victoria, and I remember seeing that Mexico won the overall event, and I went back home to Vancouver, and my mom asked me how was the competition, and I said, "Mom, the Mexican divers are incredible." I said, "Mom, I love their style. I love the way that they compete." I said, "Mom, I want to train with the Mexicans." And my mom decided to contact Mexico, and she contacted the Olympic coach Ivan Bautista, and I went down in I went down first to Mexico for 1 month for a kind of like a just so he could test
A trial.
a trial, yeah. And he basically said, "Stay." And I've been in Mexico ever since 2019, January 2019,
Yeah.
training in Mexico.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, the Mexican divers and their whole training program is very successful.
Yeah,
And they train really hard, right?
yeah,
I think I see Timo Bartel, German diver. He goes and trains in Mexico
yeah,
in the summer. Sometimes I see.
yeah.
How many? Because you were in Fukuoka, weren't you?
Yeah.
In 20? How was that too? In 2023.
Yes.
That was my last World Championships. Tell us about the story of your international level. Like, obviously you're in Group A at a junior level, but you obviously have competed at a World Champs. Have you competed at a World Champs since then?
No.
No.
So basically, Fukuoka 2023 was my international debut, my first international competition, and I also made history there, being the first Fijian diver. But after that, I haven't competed internationally till Copa Mexico, because of a problem with basically because I'm the first diver for Fiji. I have no federation, and we were trying to work around that problem, and we got in touch with World Aquatics, and it's in World Aquatics' hands till they find a resolution for me, and I was able to compete thanks to Mexico Aquatics, which has helped me a lot, even being that I'm not even Mexican.
Yeah.
And Mexico's been really supportive for me in my career, and I'm really thankful. Yeah. They basically registered me into this competition and Copa Mexico as if I were a Mexican, and but I compete for Fiji.
Yeah. And I think by winning a bronze medal here, like, that's definitely a not a sign, but like a signal towards your country, Fiji, to invest into the diving program, invest into you.
Yeah.
And you obviously have a good mentor, Yona Nightwiz. Obviously, he kind of went through the same sort of thing with Jamaica as well. So, diving, as you know, is a family, and we want to help everyone where we can. What does it mean for you and Fiji, that medal yesterday?
Like I said, it's just a dream come true. It's really an honor being able to step on the podium representing my country, my family, my people, especially all the support that they've given me. My mom, especially, she has multiple sclerosis. And when we went down to Mexico, she hasn't had any treatment in 8 years.
Wow.
So it's definitely a big, huge sacrifice. It was a big sacrifice for me and my family, and I'm just so thankful.
Where we are.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've got the 1 meter event coming up.
Yeah.
So you're still not finished here. How are you feeling for that? And also, what else have you got coming up in the future? You're aiming for LA?
Yes. That's the ultimate goal. Los Angeles 2028. And for 1 meter, I think I'll do pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. My sprained ankles is doing better by the day. So I think hopefully we'll get a good result as well.
Yeah. Well, I wish you the best of luck for everything, Maori. I'm now probably your #1 fan, and obviously hope to see you in LA. Hopefully I might be I don't know, but hopefully I'm commentating there.
Awesome.
So yeah, I'm really excited for your future.
Thank you.
And once again, well done for yesterday's performance.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Awesome. All right, that was a nice interview there from Maori. I'm going to get back to the event.
6.5, 7, 7.
We have Yihan Lin,
Reverse dive pike, 10 meter.
reverse dive pike on the 10 meter board. There was a little bit of a gasp I heard from the crowd there. Moving, I think, a little bit too close to the board, but I don't see any judges' hands up, so it's up to them whether they deem that as safe or not.
That was certainly too close to the board for me.
Yeah, and I think you were stood at a
Right
better
in
angle.
line.
Yeah.
4.5, 7.
That's interesting. That was deemed not, well, no one deemed it as
Wasn't deemed
unsafe.
dangerous,
Yeah,
but one judge
on-
gave it 4.5. Yeah.
But then on the 1 meter springboard, that
Well, yeah.
Russian diver.
Confusing.
Yeah,
Anyway, good chat with Mari though, right?
absolutely. We're trying to make this commentary nice and interesting for you all at home, and also giving an opportunity for these athletes to be able to speak about their careers, their paths,
6.5, 6.5, 6.5, 7.
and to build a profile for themselves.
And it's also really interesting how he
10 meter.
just chose to take control of his career. You know, he must have been quite young when he saw that and decided that he wanted to go and train with Mexico and do something different, and you know, clearly shows a lot of self-belief to take that step. But not only to take that step, but to make it work, to go there and embrace the culture and work hard, and
Yeah.
I assume learn Spanish. Being from Canada, it's not his native language, but
Yeah.
he speaks fluent Spanish, of course.
7.5.
So well that I didn't even realise that he was not Spanish
No.
or not Mexican.
That was like the first time I probably spoke to him.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa.
Yeah,
Like-
I couldn't. Yeah,
like, yeah, fully Canadian in his accent.
But you know, like myself, when I was representing Jamaica, a lot of people said that it's just good to see different nations represented. It's good to see different flags, and
Yeah. And sometimes these
Different
nations
journeys.
need a bit more help
absolutely.
and awareness.
And
Because there's obviously they produce great divers, and you know I'd hate to not see these divers at big competitions just because the federations aren't there or aren't investing into them.
and that's one big thing he said. He said that he didn't have a federation when he started because he was the first, and you know that's quite tough because he's, well, up until this point you could probably say he's not old enough or experienced enough to be able to go through the whole process himself. He needs the support. And now that he's got a medal that he can show, hopefully that support is a little bit more forthcoming from people in Fiji, people with connections to Fiji, and can support him achieve his goals. That was an unbelievable single twister.
Yeah,
that was so good.
That was beautiful there from the Belarusian diver. Look at that control. You can see his fingers bending up. Divers do that to grip onto the board. Gives you more control in that handstand.
What a picture that is.
It's Picasso.
Oh,
A great entry. That is literally a painting, isn't it?
looks like AI.
Yeah. That's one thing I thought of. You know, on the graphics of the dive. That,
Yes.
You know, like surely now
that's
with
got
AI
to be improved. Yeah,
we
yeah.
can improve that.
Because that's been
Dives,
terrible for a long time.
Yeah. Dives don't normally look like the little diagram. If you don't know what I'm on about, I'll point out to you. Presuming we have it in the prelim.
I don't know. I haven't actually spotted it yet. To be fair, now that you said it,
Yeah.
maybe I'm just so used to ignoring it.
Exactly. Because if I watched that, before my actual dive, I think I'd freak out. Because it's definitely not how I'd perform.
You watch that and get lost.
Yeah. Just waiting for some scores. Not really sure what. Oh, there you go. Got a 9 from Judge 1. And Judge 6. Here it is, that diagram on the left side.
Yep, that is an open pipe shape.
No.
You don't want to see that. It's quite interesting. It looked like he was stood with quite a lot of his foot on the boards. See that?
Yeah, you're right.
Heels are barely off the edge of the board.
Wow.
Again, personal preference, and I think the judges will see that or be aware of it, but normally you'd kind of stand with half your foot on, half your foot off, or kind of just on your toes, whatever it takes to feel reasonably balanced. But you very rarely see a diver stood with their whole foot on the board in that way.
Yeah.
It's an interesting one-step run-up
That's some classy though.
from Nazari. Very close to the end of the board. Doesn't need much momentum, just a little bit to help the dive. And again, you can choose for forward takeoffs whether you do a run-up or not. Completely up to the preference. And he is the first to go over 170 points on his requires, which is fantastic achievement there.
Yeah, now looking... I don't think I ever got 200 on required in Group B.
I'd say the Group A boys potentially looking towards 190 maybe.
Yeah, I feel like only the back in my competitions, only the Chinese would be up there.
Yeah. Also, the judging was different back then though, right?
Very true.
We'll do some research.
6.5, 6.5, 6.5, 7, 6.5, 7, 7. Elliot Johnson, back 1.5 somersault, say half twist, free position, 7.5 meters.
We have Elliot Johnson. Trains at Skepton, Stockholm. Coached by Vinko and Paco. His proudest achievement so far is getting to this championships.
Interestingly, at the last Junior World Championships, I can only see 3 divers that went over the score of 160 points. And this time
Nice.
we have currently the top 7 over 160 points and 1.9 off, so clearly the standards have raised since Rio 2 years ago. It's good to see.
Mm.
5.5, 5, 4.5, 5.5, 4.5, 5, 5. Thank you, panel B judges. Panel A judges, please retake your seats.
That's the end
Brings us to the end
of round 4, the end of the required rounds.
Then the standings are on the score for you now.
Don't go anywhere, because this is where it gets exciting. We should be able to see some harder dives being competed into the optional rounds. Do you know why it's called the optionals and requireds?
Well, the optionals are optional. The requires are required.
Oh dear, I've had an absolute nightmare.
In the US, they call them compulsories because they're compulsory.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense. Maybe I hit my head too many times on the boat on the water.
And I think in the US, they call them. I think they call optionals voluntaries because they're voluntary.
Oh dear. That was a little bit of a slip there from me. We like to keep it entertaining for you all at home.
It's alright, you've been in this commentary box for a while now.
Yeah.
Bound to lose your head at some point.
It's only day 3.
Oh dear.
Right, first diver of the optionals. The forward 3.5 somersaults pike off the 10 metre.
And that was his option that he chose.
I think I was probably concussed a few times in diving, so let's just blame that.
Oh dear.
6, 6, 5.5, 6, 7.
Actually, concussion's a very interesting topic at this point.
Yeah, especially on the 10 metre.
You know, there was probably once upon a time where concussions were glazed over and possibly ignored in many sports, not just in diving.
Yep.
But now the protocols are much, much better in all sports. A clear return to training criteria.
5, 5.5, 5.5, 6, 5.5, 5.5, 5.5.
Might be wondering how you get concussed in diving in it. There's many ways. The main way is missing your hands on the entry, and it's quite a common thing. I'll pause there though and just explain. This diver is holding his hand up, presuming there's maybe something wrong with the scoreboard, or like I said earlier, he might have put in the wrong dive.
He's still on 7 metre and the height says 5 metre, so he
That's what I said.
clearly believes that his dive should be on 7 metre, but it was potentially entered as 5 metre, but it could also be an error on the recording side. But his coach is just going over to the recorder's table now to check.
We just have a small break. We will be back in competition with you in just a few moments' time.
I will say though, luckily, the dive itself is not a crazy difficult dive. So if he has to compete off 5 metres, I think he will be able to. It won't be ideal for him, obviously, because he wouldn't have been training it at all. And
It looks like he's about to head down the stairs.
from that camera angle, you can see a few empty seats, but it's because those seats are in the blinding sunlight. It's quite a hot day, especially when you're in the sun. Most of the crowd is in the shade.
Back 1.5, so some say half twist, free position, 5 metre.
And here he is on 5 metre. So the dive is as stated, and his coach Gave him a last little bit of advice, probably for a bit of extra speed compared to what he was preparing for. To ensure that he can actually make this dive around on 5 meter, 2.5 less meters of height.
Come on, Ho. We're rooting for you. Nice. If he would have taken off like that on 7.5 meters, he would have gone flying over. So he did a good job.
I can say a learning experience for both of them, coach and diver, to make sure that they double check dive lists before the competition to ensure that.
Yeah, I feel like I would go over it like 4 times just in case.
Yeah.
'Cause you don't want that happening to you in a competition.
No, definitely not.
Nice tight pike shape from Flavio. Obviously the confusion with the previous diver slowed down the momentum of the competition. So all divers could be slightly thrown off from that. But these are the things you sometimes have to deal with and expect in competition. See some holiday makers in the sea there. Getting a free view of this competition. They're probably not holiday makers, they're probably someone's...
Just locals,
Yeah.
Just chilling. Normal day for them.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
Would be nice.
Don't get that in these, do you?
No, we don't. But the weather has been crazy hot for England. We haven't had rain in a while. I think it is raining now, though, which is good. We were in a drought.
Now we see quite a mix of degrees of difficulty in this optional phase of the competition. Quite a mix in levels of experience and abilities. I just went from a back one half tuck on 5 meter to 2.0 to an in with 3.5 on 10 meter, now a 3.2 from Hayden.
I used to love competing this dive.
Beautiful execution,
Wow.
really lovely.
Strong takeoff. Beautiful tuck shape.
Lovely.
Confident on the come out. The inward 3.5 slowly became my easiest dive in my list. And it was a dive I could do really well, but at the same time in competition, sometimes when you've got a lot of beans, you just make it fly over onto my back.
Just describe what you mean by beans.
When I mean beans, I mean energy and power and speed. Sometimes with the adrenaline, you unlock 10% more power than you thought you were capable of. And that's just some of the joys of competition.
Almost impossible to replicate in training.
Yep.
Very strong takeoff, really clear intent on the run up, and big push into the board for a short 3.5. It's a great lift, but it's almost too high, and that's potentially that adrenaline that you're talking about, where you get that 10% extra energy, 10% extra power, spin that little bit faster, and not used to it and not able to fully control it through the water.
I guess you could compare it to Formula One. Not anymore, but when they used to press the DRS button, unlock 10% more speed.
And Nicola was quite far back from the end of the board. There you can see he takes off almost at the back of the towel. It meant that his toes came reasonably close to the underside of the board, which obviously you don't want to tap that. I've seen some not very enjoyable examples of that in the past, but came away unscathed with a Decent dives. 6s and 6.5s to carry.
We've got Hugo on the 5 meter. Started diving when he was 10 years old. He watched the 2021 Olympic Games, and that's what inspired him to get involved.
4.5, 5, 5, 5, 5, 6, 4.5.
His proudest achievement so far is getting on this team,
Back 2.5.
representing his country
Top.
at the highest level for his age group. I think you might know this better than me, but in Holland there is not many 10 meter facilities.
I think there's just Amsterdam and Eindhoven.
Yeah. Which might explain the use of the 7.5 meter.
Yeah. Really excellent set of requireds, Ivan. Really strong required performance.
5.5, 5.5, 5, 5.5, 5.5, 5, 6.5. Alessandro Capio. Back 2.5 somersaults with top 7.5 meter.
Alessandro there, needing that knee save on that entry.
5.5, 5.5, 5, 5, 5.5.
Without that knee save, I've been looking at some lower scores than that. I feel like in the platform event, sometimes you see these divers, they carry a bit of an aura about them. It's that you get that weird confidence boost being so high up and so young at the same time.
Wow, what a lovely dive. I was just about to say his Mexican colleague or inspiration maybe is Randall Willers, who does 109B, so an extra somersault in the pike shape. And I mean, doing the 107B with that level at this age, you know, maybe in the future he could be doing the 109B as well. And he actually stated in his little form that he was inspired by Randall Willers, so yeah, maybe he's taking some technical advice on the forward takeoff. Plenty of room there in the future to develop a 109B, I think. Here we go with Alistair back to our somersaults half twist. Wonderfully executed. This was one of my 10 meter optionals. Definitely didn't do it to that level. I was a little bit more scared.
That was the first optional dive I learnt on 10 meter.
Oh yeah?
Yeah.
Mm. I honestly could not imagine doing that.
Not now, that's for sure. But then I did change it to a full in, which is a one twist performed first and then 2.5 somersaults on the 10 meter. See Gorka there down on the 5 meter board. Bit of an easier dive there with the degree of difficulty of 2.4.
5, 5, 5, 4.5, 5, 4.5, 6. Yi Han Lin. Inward 2.5 somersaults with top 7.5 meter.
Oh, That sounded great.
Nice dive there from Han. He stated on my form that inward is his favourite dive to compete because it feels easy.
Made it look easy as well.
I think that's inward, not reverse. Yeah, because he stated that reverse 3.5 somersaults is the dive he finds most challenging.
Okay.
See there from Amit, planting both of his feet nicely on the end of the board there. It's important to be able to get correct takeoff and distance away from the board.
There we go with Kirill now up on 10 metre with his inward 3.5 somersaults tuck. Oh, unlucky.
Sadly missing
Looked
his
like
spot.
he just rushed the takeoff a little bit, didn't finish his jump, and almost ducked his head into his somersault, which just affected his awareness, his feeling in the air, which contributed to the over rotation there. It's unfortunate for him. Kirill was having a very solid competition, had a great set of requireds.
Kirill's fun fact about himself is he can move his ears.
There's Inaki with his forward 3.5 pike. Not quite as high as his teammate, but still made the dive very easy. I'll learn how to release from the shape properly, spot the water, find the lineup. Always difficult in these outdoor conditions.
Oh, very nice. I do love seeing a back 2.5 tuck on the 7 metre. Might be a little bit biased just because that was one of the dives I would compete in this age group. And I feel like when it's done nicely, it's a beautiful dive to watch.
Lovely dive to watch for sure. Miroslav not long ago competed at the Senior European Championships in Paris. Made it to the final.
He's previously won 5 medals in 5 events at the European Junior Championships. And
impressive.
as you just mentioned, competed at the Senior European Championships.
And you can see why with dives of that standard, way beyond his age and experience.
7.5, 9, 8, 7.5, 8, 8, 7.5. Nathan Petrovsky, inward 2.5.
Wonderful entry, slightly over, but the pike shape was beautiful. The form was incredible, so clean. So the judges wake up for the final, eh? We are seeing some good rips in this event. Definitely some questionable form as well.
Yep.
Needs to work on that toe point. But can't say anything about the hands.
0 splash. If he needed up his tuck shape, we would probably see a few more 8s there and even 9s. Zari up on the 10 metre board. Maybe a bit too many beans. As you can see on his come out, I don't think he felt like he was high enough, so he ducked his head down a little bit. Didn't need to do that. He glanced over his toes, saw the water. Might have been able to stop that rotation.
Free position, 10 meter.
This will be quite an elegant dive to watch. Back 1.5, 2.5 twist. Especially someone tall like Chase. Just let it drift over slightly on the end. The aerial work was very enjoyable to watch.
His biggest goal or dream in diving is to get a medal at these championships and to get into a nice university. Already thinking about his education.
Absolutely, I wonder what he's studying.
Yeah, that's something I just didn't have the capability to do. Maybe I should have done, and then I would know what required and optionals means.
Well, education's not for everyone, mate.
No. It's definitely a challenge juggling education and sport.
Yeah, it's tough.
In the UK, you don't have to go to university. I chose not to, and I'm obviously glad I didn't, because I was able to get the most out of my diving career, and I'm not very good at doing multiple things at once. Yona, on the other hand, very different story.
Yeah, I like to do everything all at the same time.
Yep. Studied at Leeds Beckett University.
Correct. Sport and exercise science.
And now you're on the walls on the Hall of Fame.
Alongside many other people in the diving world, Andy Banks, Mark Holdsworth, Adi Hinchliffe, Sarah Barrow. Yeah, that's it from the diving world.
Confident takeoff there from Linus.
6.5, 7, 6.5, 7, 6, 7, 7.5. And that brings to an end round 5.
It's the end of round 5.
Standings on the scoreboard for you now.
So look at the scores so far. Hayden from Australia up in the first position. Obviously the top 12 will make it through to the final. We have Hanley Yi in the 12th spot. From the 17th position up all the way to the 12th position, there is only 10 points. With 2 more rounds to go. That's definitely achievable. Got to perform some classy dives. And also hope the field around you may drop a little bit. But that's something you can't control. Ali running out of room on his entry. Not quite getting his hands grabbed for the entry. You have Youssef choosing to do a handstand optional.
He's coming into this round in 14th place, so right in the hunt for that top 12 ranking. Just drifted a little bit over from vertical on his handstand double pike. You can see after he holds the handstand, he moves into a small pike shape to try and drive his heels and create the momentum that he needs to be able to complete the somersaults.
Forward 2.5 somersaults, pike to 7.5 meter.
It's a technique that I actually never figured out. Experimented a number of times, but never had it. Unfortunately, Lee got the correct board this time. Front 2.5 pike on 7 meter.
5, 5, 4.5, 4.5. Flavio Cavalli.
33.6.
Somersaults pike, 10 meter.
And Flavio here coming into this round ranked in 16th place, so once again in that hunt for the top 12. He has a degree of difficulty on his side for this dive, but misses the execution. A little bit slow into the first somersault. Really needs to try and find that speed of throw and quicker connection.
4, 3.5, 3.5.
He almost
Create
had
more space
he almost had too much spring
2 UGA.
in his
in the step
in his
before.
steps,
1.5 somersaults
and then
pike to
you know,
5
all he
meter.
needed was that spring on the end.
Two with his 1.5 pike on 5 meters. As soon as he released from the pike shape, he was already slightly out of control and didn't quite get his hand grab to squeeze through the water.
Hayden Brinkley.
Slightly loose body line as well.
Back double somersault, 1.5 to his free position, 10 meter.
Now our leader, Hayden, up on 10 meter. Off the back of a 72-point inward 3.5, he now goes for the arm stand back double somersault with 1.5 twist. And we call this the free position because there's no restriction on what shape you have to make after the twist, but you generally tend to go into an open pike shape.
I'd like to see Hayden hold that handstand a little bit longer, but from experience, I know it's difficult.
6.5, 6.5, 6.5,
Great
6.5,
flight.
6.5, 6.5, 7.
In the air.
Cancel. Inward 3.5 somersaults with top 10 meter.
Can with his inward 3.5. You can see the taping on his ankles.
A lot
Very
of Chinese.
common in the Chinese divers.
Yeah. I don't think it's for an injury. I think it's to help with the spring on their
Ankle stability.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always spoke about whether we should try it or not.
Too much effort.
Too much effort.
Yeah.
A lot of tape to go through.
Yeah.
I don't have the money to pay for all that tape. Every session, could you imagine?
Yeah.
Inward 3.5 somersaults.
And imagine if you're reliant on it and you forget it.
Well, unfortunately, slightly over from vertical there from Cam. 44 points in his inward 3.5. Leaves him 30 points behind Hayden at the top of the leaderboard.
Nice dive there from Peng Zhu. Good jump out of the board.
5.5, 5.5, 5, 5, 4.5.
Bit short of vertical on the entry.
It's a dive that might keep him within that fight for the top 12. A fight that Nicholas is also involved in. So now with his inward 2.5 tuck on 7 meter, and he definitely has a bit of a deficit on his difficulty. Here in this round, using the inward 2.5 tuck on 7 meter at 2.7. So his execution has to be as good as possible, and that is slightly over, a little bit splashy. About 6.5, and the 6 to count from the judges.
Forward 2.5 somersaults, tight 7.5 meter.
We have Hugo on the 7.5 meter. Some quite heavy strapping there on his right arm. solid dive.
You can see he must be having issues with his tricep or with his shoulder or something. His elbow. He's not quite able to hold that entry down as strongly as he'd like to. But good dive nevertheless. So Ivan back on the 10 meter with his reverse 2.5 somersault tuck. This is one of my favourite dives to watch on platform.
I have good memories of watching
Tony
Dan,
Couch.
Yeah, Dan Goodfellow.
Dan, yeah.
Nailing these dives for 10s.
Oh,
You don't want to be coming out the dive that high.
Such a strong jump, really tight shape.
I'm sure he'll go away and work on adding a somersault to that dive.
It's tough though because that jump from 2.5 to 3.5 is significant.
Yeah, huge.
What was that like for you?
Scary. Very scary. And obviously, to be able to compete and train a reverse 3.5 somersaults tuck on 10 meter, you've kind of got to be able to make a reverse 2.5 tuck on 5 meter. So taking that from 10 meters, cutting out a whole 5 meters, it is very difficult.
When you put it like that.
Yeah.
How old were you when you learnt a reverse 3.5 on 10 meter?
It was in between second year B, first year A. When I learnt that on 10 meter. I think I was around the age 13. No.
15.
Yes.
15, 16.
Yeah, 50, yeah.
You weren't that talented, mate.
No. Memory's gone a little bit.
Yeah, I'm just taking a moment to compose himself before turning around to get ready for his back 2.5 tuck on 5 meter. Wow.
It's a difficult dive. A back 2.5 tuck on the 5 meter. Has to really swing on that takeoff. That comes out in the right position. He's liking that. He's happy. I would be too. That was a 3.0 degree of difficulty. So that potentially might propel him up into the contention of making that top 12.
Alice now with a forward 3.5 tuck.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
That entry, so precise. I almost thought we were about to watch a 4.5 then, and I was like, not ready for it. I'm sure that will be coming soon for this young diver.
Again, I don't see an awful lot wrong with that. I really don't. For me, a 7.5 on that is criminal. That was another one of my 10 meter optionals. Forward 3.5 tuck. Once again.
Same.
Wasn't quite as good.
No, I don't think I
As
ever did it
Alistair
as good
has
as then.
Certainly never got a 9 on it. Can certainly see Alistair's potential though.
Oh, hands down. I also wanted to point out something. Myself and Yona, never. A lot of progression can happen for these young divers from that jump.
I was 28th on 3 meter and 17th, I think, on 1 meter at my Junior World Championships in Adelaide 2012. Like I said, not very good at requireds. The main issue.
That same year, I was in Group B, and I won a gold medal at the Junior European Championships. But then I went on to the Junior Worlds, and I didn't even make a final in that exact event.
Is that 2014?
12.
2012?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
In 2014, I was lucky enough to be on the World Series squad.
Ah, yes. Look at you.
I had we had a bit of an opening up position on the tower. We didn't have a synchro team at the time, so they invested into me and Daniel Goodfellow
Yep.
to give us some experience on the senior level, which definitely helped us progress into our future.
Well,
And I definitely call that luck.
you both went on to win synchro medals with the great man.
Yep.
Mr. Daly. Oh.
Head completely tucked in there on his come out. You watch here. Completely head ducked. Could be something to do with the sun. I don't think he probably usually competes and trains that dive like that.
Similar to his in with 3.5, unfortunately. It's clearly a point of focus for him to work on. Fronting in with awareness.
Another one of our dives that we like to watch on the 10-meter board.
There he is.
Can be very classy when done right.
Oh,
yes.
Let's go.
Yes, I like it. I like it a lot. Good.
Beautiful.
Confident jump. Knew exactly where to come out.
I'd only say I didn't quite like his straight arm lineup on the end. Otherwise, beautiful dive.
Miroslav started diving when he was 5 years old. His favourite competition is the 10 metre. It's a good job that he's competing on that board. And he loves listening to music in his spare time. All genres.
He clearly loves a handstand as well, opting to use his second handstand of the competition. Armstand, back triple somersault. Oh,
Beautiful. Russian divers are usually very good at the handstand dives. A lot of gymnastics based training they go through.
fantastic awareness and control throughout. Great technique. We're here on the 7 metre with Nathan. Forward 3.5. Somersaults tuck.
I really enjoyed the spring out of the end of the board. Maybe moving a little bit too far forward though. Could clean up his tuck shape.
Yeah, just the come out sequence there needs a little bit work. You want to be really moving sharply from the tuck shape to the pike shape to the straight shape. Nathan sort of committed to the pike shape part of it, but then didn't commit to the extension at the end, which ultimately is what caused the dive to drift over past vertical. Nazarino coming into this round in 9th place, and that dive will
should keep him there.
Keep him.
It's a solid dive.
Right there.
It's a 3.2 degree of difficulty.
6, 5.5.
Yes, it was short of vertical, but he showed control throughout.
Chase now one of the hunting pack. He's going to need 3 excellent dives from here to get himself through to the final this afternoon. I'd say that's 1 out of 3.
Same again next round for Chase.
He's in the chase.
Haha, see what you did there? Are you sure about that? That was quick for me.
Terrible.
Yep. You have Elliot Johnson, the 7.5 meter reverse 2.5 somersaults tuck.
Very good.
Precise jump out of the board.
7.5.
Taking himself into contention with that dive.
We have the final diver of this round. Linus from Germany. Inward 3.5 somersaults tuck on the 10 meter board. His biggest inspiration is his dad.
Ooh.
I really like his takeoff. Good spin speed. Could do with a little bit more control on the end. The end of round 6. 2 more rounds to go. Remember, the top 12 will make it through to the final. The 12th spot currently is held by Elliot from Sweden with a score of 249. And it's still it's very close. Scores behind him still up for grabs from a few of the competitors.
It's a atypical dive at the senior level, but good dive nonetheless. A forward 2.5 somersaults with one twist, a dive you normally see on the springboard compared to the platform.
Did he do it full in or full out?
He did full out,
Interesting choice.
and his teammate is going to be doing exactly the same dive. I presume exactly the same fashion. So with this dive in particular, you could either do the twist first or the twist in the middle of the dive. Now you see difference in his teammate is he's chosen to do the twist first and then make the pike shape.
I'd say doing the twist first gives yourself maybe a little bit more control on the entry.
And there's probably a bit more progression in doing the twist first. You see with the Mexicans again with their triple in. They do the 3 twist first and then into the pike shape.
We have Ho Lee, one of my long lost brothers. There's quite a few of them at this competition. Just in case you don't know, my surname is also Lee, spelt like that, L-E-E. Which I think is a bit weird for a British person to be, I don't know.
No, I don't know how common it is,
No, well.
to be honest.
We have Flavio on the 7.5 metre. 2.5 somersaults tuck.
Oh,
Spicy.
excellent dive.
Very spicy. Look at that come out, how sharp that come out was. The judges will see that. The judges like to see people who are confident in their dive. I'd like to have seen more 8s there.
Agree. Yeah, you almost want to trick the judges into making them think that you're confident, even if you're not.
Yeah.
As many times as stuff on the board, you have no confidence. But if you look confident, then the judge is going to be a bit more with you. If you look scared, then they're already going to have a few reservations about what they're going to see and more likely to give you slightly lesser scores.
It's always something my coach has always tried to instill on me, to look confident the whole time. Even before the referee blows his whistle, the judges are still looking at you. And yes, they shouldn't really judge on your body posture or how you look, but we're all human, and they probably will.
Absolutely. Well, Hayden, second place, coming into this round. Currently 8.3 points off the leader, Miroslav. So reverse 2.5 tuck on 10 metre. Expecting something good. Oh, not bad.
Oh, very close to being really good.
Not bad. Super sharp.
Yep.
Did dip a little bit too far forward on his squat for me and pushed himself forward and whipped the dive a touch. Let's see a slightly more controlled squat, higher jump.
He's holding his
Create a little bit more
body
control in the lineup.
Gilon Kant. An arm stand back double somersaults 1.5 twist.
I'll be honest, I thought he was going significantly further over than he managed to do then. Left the lineup very late. Like he caught the entry mostly on his head.
You kind of perform that dive under the board. You kind of want to pop out and away from the board, which gets you that correct rotation to be able to control the end.
Definitely some technical work for him to do there, but you know, If he can get anywhere near Chen Aizen, it's a pretty good example.
Yep. Wow, nice. Strong jump. Slightly missing on that entry. Look how high that is.
6.5 for 6.
And I think by the look on his face, he knew he almost had that down.
Nicola Londono. Back 2.5
But it's okay. If he makes it through to the final, he'll have another chance to nail it.
Now Nicola again on the 7 metre with his back 2.5 somersaults tuck. He's currently in 10th place, so once again needs to execute this easier dive with as much precision as possible, and he's pulled it slightly over. The form is good. A little bit loose through the water.
6.5, 6.5, 6.5 for 6. Hugo Devine. Back 2.5 somersaults.
He's going to have to work hard over this final dive to keep himself in that top 12.
Here we have Hugo on the 7.5 metre, back 2.5 somersaults tuck. If you could see there, he was kind of checking the grip on his shins with his hands. It's a really important thing in diving. As you can imagine, if your shins are wet, you're going to slip out of your dive. A lot of divers use soap, but they wash the soap off, and if you've ever, I don't know, shaved your beard or washed your hands with palm olive, your hands become quite grippy afterwards. Towards the end of my career, well, for the majority of my career, I'd use wax, handball wax, to be precise. And I always thought if that company just stopped making it, I would have to quit because I relied on it so much.
I was originally a wax user, but then actually at the Pan American Games in Lima, I lost my wax and had to borrow someone's ITAC. So switched to ITAC whilst at a competition, which isn't ideal.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you'd like to be using the same substance.
I don't think I'd
the
have
whole
been able to
time.
compete. No, genuinely.
Well, I did compete and I survived, and then became an ITAC user full time after that. Ooh.
A little bit shaky on that arm stand, not holding it long enough really.
Yeah, you really want to be settled in that handstand as much as possible before you pop off for your dive, and
3, 3,
no.
3, 3.5, but 3, 3, 4.
That's
Alessandro
2 out of 3 of his
forward 2.5.
optional dives that haven't been as good as he would hope, and that has caused Ivan to slip down the rankings a little bit after a really strong set of requireds.
Clean dive. Clean dive there from Alessandro.
7, 7, 6.5, 6.5. Jan Navratilio. Under 3.5
We have Ian up on the 10 metre diving board, forming in with 3.5 somersaults tuck. It's a 3.2 degree of difficulty. It's great to be seeing these hard dives being competed at a Group B level.
Again, quite a significant double bounce, and there was a time where that was put up for question by judges, but it seems to have been largely ignored since then, and
Back 2.5 somersaults, 10 metre.
Just makes me feel a little bit nervous watching those sort
me
of dives,
too.
just because a lot can. I have seen divers slip, misplace their feet after that double bounce.
Alistair Hale sitting in 4th place going into this round. It's back 2.5 pike on 10 metre.
That's a very hard dive to be able to control because he makes it look so easy, and he finishes the 2.5. Well, 2 somersaults way above 5 meter. And he's got all that time to try and control his come out and his lineup. Slightly getting away from him. Landing slightly over vertical.
I'm so excited for like 5 years' time when he has a full 10 meter list.
Yeah.
Could be outstanding.
Yeah. His dreams are to make the Canadian Olympic team. I think he keeps going the way he is. I think his dreams could come true.
Certainly has a good chance of it. But as we said, that transition from doing the easier dives to the more difficult dives is always challenging. You know, he'll have to add 2 extra twists onto his back half 2.5, an extra somersault onto his 107, an extra somersault onto his 205. That doesn't come easy.
And he's also at the age where he'll have to do some growing up. You know, your body goes through changes. He might end up being your height. I doubt it though.
Strongly doubt it.
Reverse 2.5 somersaults with top 10 meter.
Johan currently in 14th place. Be looking for a really solid reverse 2.5 here to maintain his position. That's certainly what we wanted.
No.
And I didn't quite like his start technique. It looked a little bit shouldery, looks a little bit tight towards the board, and for me that just affects the control in the bottom of the dive,
1.5, 2.5.
which is really unfortunate for him.
2.5.
On that dive, especially with any reverse dive, when you mess up your takeoff and you're a bit shouldery, obviously you don't want it to be close, and that's the worst thing ever. But also, your rotation speed and your spotting can kind of get messed up. I experienced that at the World Championships in Guangzhou, in South Korea, and I went flying over. I met there about 2.5 tuck on the 7.5 meters. Struggling to find his spot. And what I mean by that is, in diving, divers need to be able to spot their rotations. Some divers, I think, just feel. I definitely did a bit of both. I always thought I didn't spot, but I definitely did, because when I come to an outdoor pool, I would really struggle. So that would mean I definitely had my eyes open. And we've got to be able to see how many. Oh!
Wow. He's clearly strong on the back and reverse somersaults and dives.
Yeah.
More so than the front and inward.
Kirill's favourite dive is the reverse 2.5 somersaults
There
on
you
the
go.
10 metre, because he's good at it. That's what he said. And I can agree with you.
He's backed it up there, that's for sure.
When you make a statement, you've got to back it up. And he definitely did. I like the confidence.
Naki, he was in 15th place coming into this round. It'll be just about okay to keep him in the hunt.
He's got the
Again
degree
with
of
the double
difficulty on his
bounce.
side.
5, 5.5, 5, 5.5, 5.5, 5, 6.5. Timofey Patskovich. Arm stand back double somersault, 1.5 choice, free position, 10 meter.
We got Timofey on the 10 metre board, performing an arm stand back double somersaults with 1.5 twists. Is he going to do a tuck up or a pike up? A tuck up is his choice. Good control. As I mentioned, when you're doing that dive and you kind of skip it under the board, it then becomes quite wild and out of control, making it harder to stop the rotation.
4.5, 6, 5.5, 5, 5.5.
Sees him go a little bit over.
Miroslav Kizilov, back 3.5 somersaults with top 10 meter.
Here's our current leader, Miroslav, who's back 3.5 somersaults tuck. Looking to maintain his lead and give himself a nice easy final round to ensure that he can safely make it through to the final. Oh,
Amazing entry.
you can really see how precise he is on his takeoff. No wasted energy, no movements that look out of place, everything exactly where it's supposed to be. I wish we could see a replay of that. Beautiful dive.
Nathan Petrovsky, back 2.5 somersaults with top 7.
Extends his position in the lead to over 40 points now.
Sadly, we didn't see a replay. That would have been a good one to see.
Now Nathan, 11th place. Back 2.5 tuck. It's not going to help his cause. Fraction high on the kick. Able to stop the somersault, control,
4.5, 4, 5, 4, 4.
landing way over past vertical.
Nazary Komanenko, back 2.5 somersaults, 1.5 twist, height 10 meter.
We have Nazary Konochenko from Ukraine, performing a back 2.5 somersaults, 1.5 twist on the 10-meter diving board. Great dive. Nice twisting position. Clean entry. It's going to help him stay in the top 12.
Small delay here while we wait for the scores to come through for Nazary's dive. It's always difficult when there's a small delay. Go through your routines, your processes.
6.5, 6.5, 6.5, 7.5, 6.5.
You almost want it to work like clockwork, and then all of a sudden you got to wait around on the board, waiting with your own thoughts
Back 2.5 somersaults with
for longer than you anticipated.
Yeah. It's not always fun for the athlete. Chase was in and around that benchmark for the final. He needed 2 solid dives there.
5, 5, 4.5, 5.5, 4.5.
I think he'll be disappointed
4.5.
with that dive.
Elliot Johnson, forward 2.5 somersaults at 1 twist, height 10 meter.
Elliot similarly sat in 12th place coming into this dive. Forward 2.5 somersaults with 1 twist. Opts to do the twist first, then somersault. Lost the line a little bit on the entry. So whilst it was more or less upright, wasn't quite as clean as it could be.
5.5, 5, 5.5, 5.5, 5.5.
but solid enough to keep him within that top 12 for now.
Half twist, height 10 meter.
And final diver of this round, Linus, with like 2.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists, 3.2 degree of difficulty. He'll be looking for a good execution to leave his last round as stress-free as possible.
Solid dive from Linus. Bit of a splash being produced on the entry.
Correction, 5, 6.5, 5.5, 6, 5.5, 6, 7.
Scoring 6, 5.5, 6 to count.
It's the 7th round of dives at the standings as we move into the final round along the scoreboard for you now.
That's the end of round 7. Only one more round to go. Again, the top 12 will make it through to the final. From 12 to 16, there's only 10 points in it. Some athletes will look at the leaderboard and work out maybe how much they might need to score on this next dive. But also some athletes don't look at that. I wasn't one to focus on the scoreboard too much. I would end up doing the maths incorrectly and it would annoy me.
We've had some changes in the order as well. Inaki from Mexico has managed to get himself up into that top 12 position from 15th in the round before.
2.5, 2, 2, 2.5.
Elliot has given himself
1.5.
one position
Youssef Islam.
of cushion
Forward 3.5 somersaults, height 10 meter.
to 11th, and Ahmed, who we just saw then, was in the hunt, but unfortunately made a mistake on his final dive and will definitely be out. Similarly, his teammate, an unfortunate mistake on his final dive, and almost certainly, unfortunately, not make the final.
3.5, 3.
Hopefully valuable experience for both of them at this Junior World Championships.
Liho Shien.
You might have noticed those
Reverse 1.5 somersaults.
sprays of water going into the pool. That's there to help the diver see the surface edge of the water. Because if there isn't any break on the water, it's really hard to tell when the water is coming at you at such a speed. It's not there just to fill up the pool. Holy there,
1.5, 2, 1.5.
struggling to make his
1.5, 2, 1.5.
reverse 1.5 somersaults tuck.
Flavio Capelli. 2.5 somersaults, 1.5 twist, height 10 meter.
Fortunately, so far, not the best finish to the competition, but Flavio here now was sitting in 13th place coming into this round, so he's in with a good shot of potentially making the final if he can do a really solid dive right now. And it's not too bad, slightly over, but good save. Keep the water down, see how the judges will respond.
5.5, 6, 5, 4, 5.
Takes one to 338 points.
2 UGA. Arm stand forward, single somersault, height 7.5 meter.
Just as a benchmark, remember 2 years ago at the Junior World Championships in Rio, the 12th position in the prelim in this event scored 332.40. I think the standard here is a little bit higher
Touch higher, yep.
5, 4.5.
So that is now unuseful information for us all.
3.5, 5. Hayden Brinkley. Back
But it's good to
2.5
see
somersaults, 1.5 twists, height,
the standard of diving progressing.
Absolutely. That's what we want to see. Hayden now with his final dive finish on the back 2.5 with 1.5 twist. Currently in second place. This one's finished this morning with positivity before he comes back for the final later on.
Oh,
I think that's the first official cue that we can give.
textbook. Great technique, wrapping into that pike shape, squeezing tight, and a great entry. Amazing.
7.5, 7.5, 8, 7.5, 8, 8.
425 points there.
Back 2.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists, height.
It's probably more than I'd be able to score on 10 dives on 10 metre during my platform career.
With that score that Hayden has produced, obviously this is a prelim and we've still got a final to go, but 2 years ago in Rio, the gold medal was decided on a 424 points, so that is a great performance there.
I think that's definitely going to be surpassed in the final with
Yep.
some of the quality that we've seen this morning.
I hope so.
6, 6.5, 6.5, 6.5, 6.5, 6.5, 7.
Sri Khan there finishing on
Sue Law.
389 points.
1.5 twists, height,
And we can award him a cue for the final as well. Seeing him later this afternoon. Peng Shu sitting in 8th place. He gained a place coming into this round and
I think he's going to gain another.
may well gain some more, yeah, for sure. That was a fantastic dive to finish on.
Beautiful jump away from the board.
6.5, 8, 7.5, 7.5.
Excellent
8,
height.
8, 8.
Takes him on to 397. I think we can also give him a cue. Safely through to the final. Nicola still in 10th place. Once again, needs a solid dive here to be able to progress through to this afternoon's final. Oh, and that'll do it. Wow.
That will definitely do it.
Wow, wow, wow. What a
Nicholas.
performance. Outstanding.
7.5, 8.5, 8.
Most divers will probably put their most confident dive last. Or sometimes the dive they need the most pressure to perform well on. And Nicholas definitely delivered there. Got Hugo, the 7.5 metre, in with 2.5 somersaults tuck. Going over there for Hugo. I think he's enjoying the experience though.
5.5, 5.
See if he gives us a wave.
Ivan Alexandrov.
Good lad.
Back 2.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists, height.
Got Ivan. And 10 metre back. 2.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists. A little bit scruffy. See a bit more of a toe point there. I don't think he was too happy with his performance today.
It's a shame because he had such a solid set of required.
Really did.
Really good performance on the required, and then
6.5,
couldn't quite carry it through to the optionals, unfortunately, but point of work.
Yep. And that's diving.
That is diving.
2.5 twists, free position, 10 meter.
He'll be in Group A next year, so something for him to work on, adding an extra optional as well into his list. But a great foundation with good requireds.
Alessandro there not quite getting enough rotation round.
5.5, 4.5, 4.5.
Producing a
6,
splash
5.5.
from landing short of vertical.
Ian number 40. Back to the left.
Yeah, the support there for Ian as he comes into this last dive, takes some time to compose himself before turning around and getting himself set on the end of the platform for his 2.5 somersaults on the half twists. You can really see how inspired he is by Randall because so much of his actions are similar. And that was a great dive as well.
Beautiful dive. I think we could probably comfortably put a Q next to his name.
I think we should.
We'll be seeing him later.
He thinks it as well.
Yeah.
Confident slap on the water. Thinks he's done enough.
It's always fun to see the personalities come out,
Absolutely.
the divers.
Somersaults with top, 10 meter.
Alistair on 10 metre. I have a good feeling about this one.
Yeah, he's been very comfortable so far, currently sat in 4th place. Slightly over, but maybe he's just saving a little bit more for the final.
Yes, yeah, that's
you know?
what he's doing.
He knows he's comfortable, he knows he's in, doesn't need to be fully locked in. Obviously, you don't want to make a mistake, but
Yep.
6,
doesn't need to be out of this world.
Not worth making that risk.
No.
Reverse 2.5 somersaults with top, 10 meter.
And remarkably so far, only 2 divers have overtaken Miroslav. And he's still got a dive to go. He's currently sat in 3rd, which is, well, shows how fantastically he's been performing so
Yep.
far today.
We have Gorka from Spain.
Good final dive,
Yep.
the young man.
Four and a half, 5.5, 4.5, 5, 4.5, 6, 5. Yi Hanlin. Arm stand back, double somersault, a half twist, pike to 10 meter.
It's an important dive now for Ihan. Arm stand, double somersault, half twist. Currently in 14th place. Only a few points outside the top 12 currently. Gets up to handstand comfortably. Slightly rolled over on the bottom though. Not sure that's going to be quite enough to make it through, unfortunately.
4.5, 5,
Quite a low degree of difficulty on that one.
4.5, 5,
Absolutely, but he can be proud of his performance.
Ahmed Ufuk Errol. Arm stand back, double somersault with top, 7.5 meter.
Ahmet, Turkey. On 7 meter, another arm stand. Getting this time to tuck up to the handstand. Excellent control. Good line, good balance. Unfortunately, just quite hitting the right shape.
You can see there the dive got away from him a little bit. His head was out. You need to tuck that chin in when you get into that tuck shape so you can keep it under control.
Kirill Pelovin. Back 2.5 somersaults, 1.5 twists, height 10 meter.
Got Kirill. Back 2.5 somersaults, 1.5 twist on the 10 meter. Showing us his potential. Great dive.
Another one standing with quite a lot of foot on the board. Very interesting technique.
7, 8, 7.5, 7.5, 7, 7.5, 7.5.
He was
Iñaki
out of the qualification zone, but could potentially sneak his way in with that very strong dive to finish there. Yet to know. Can't put the Q next to his name just yet, if at all.
That's the magical thing about diving.
Absolutely.
Never over until the last dive.
Oh, great finish for Iñaki. And he was on the bubble in 12th place going into that dive. He had a fantastic last 2 rounds. Went from 15th in round 6 to 12th in round 7. Now, I think we can say that he's progressed through to the final after his dive. 67 pointer in round number 8. Good job, Iñaki.
Beautiful dive to watch. Twisting in the air. Landing short vertical, producing a bit of a splash.
7, 7, 6.5, 7, 6.5, 7, 7. Miroslav Kizilov.
I think we can put
Back 2.5 somersaults,
a Q next to his name.
Let's put a Q next to his name. Timothy, you're in. Well done, mate.
Scoring 408.60.
Fantastic score for a prelim. Plus a good set of required as well. Leaves him in a good position for the final. And now our leader, Miroslav. Back to now somersaults, 1.5 twists.
Wow. Showing great control. A lot of pressure going into the last dive, but not too much pressure. He was comfortably quite ahead.
Probably could have failed it and still made it through, to be fair.
Yeah.
Look how far ahead he is, 4.62. Clearly taken a lot of experience from the European Championships with the senior guys. Showing the junior world what he's all about.
Nathan needs... It's quite a big ask, a low degree of difficulty. It's a good dive, nice clean entry. He was in 15th at the end of the last round.
7, 7, 7, 7, 5.5, 7, 6.5. Nazareth.
We're in sevens, 58 points.
I think we can safely say that the standard is going to be higher than 2 years ago in Rio, that's for sure.
Absolutely.
To qualify was, what, 3.32 you said?
Yep.
Now you might be missing out with 3.42.
Zari there. Reverse 2.5 somersaults tuck. Coming out a little bit too early.
5.5, 5.5, 5.5, 5.5, 6, 6, 5.5.
Should be comfortably through though.
Yeah.
Let's say 3.72.
Reverse 2.5 somersaults with tuck, 10 meters.
Here we go, right down to the wire. Our last 3 divers still in the hunt for that top 12. First up, we have Chase, who is currently sat in 14th place. This reverse 2.5 is going to need to be pretty exceptional, talking 60 points or so. Maybe not even enough. Oh, he's done quite a good job.
Clean dive.
A
Let's
very
see what
good
the
job of it.
judges think of that.
7.5, 7.5, 7,
63, 347.
7.5, 7.
Please.
Elliot Johnson. Inward 2.5 somersaults with top 7.5 meter.
Chase's progression depends on this dive.
Yeah.
Kirill's now sat on the edge of his seat on the bubble in 12th place. Can confirm that Nathan has unfortunately missed out on 342. Elliot with number 2.5 tuck on 7 meter. It's going to need to be good.
And it's a good one.
It's all right. It's only a 2.7 DD though.
Will it be enough? What did the judges think?
He's 50 points, 52 points maybe, 60 points,
He's through.
and that'll do. We can give Elliot the cue. One diver to go, he's officially in. And there we go. Looks like it's going to be 3.57 to qualify for this final compared to 3.32 last time.
It's a big jump from 2 years ago. Was a different environment, different pool, different judges, but still, it's moving in the right direction. Linus there, almost taken off for a reverse 3.5, I thought then.
I
Great
thought the
jump.
same.
Yeah. Could have come out a bit earlier.
Maybe a upgrade for the final,
Yeah.
because we can safely give Linus the cue as well.
We absolutely can. We'll see him in the final later on. That was a really good competition
Great
from the
competition.
boys B. Well done to all. And the top 12 will qualify for the final. 10 points between 13 and 12, so it did open up towards the end. Great job from all, and we'll be back a bit later for the girls A 1 meter final.